अल्टीमेटली पेशेंट का तो ताल्लुक है, वो तो डॉक्टर के साथ, राइट। उसको इस चीज से वरी नहीं है कि दवा कहाँ से मिली, कैसे मिली। सो नाउ यू आर वरीड अबाउट द आउटकम of the treatment you have prescribed, right? So, as clinician, what are your views on?
Thank you, Dr. Agarwal. I am more of a primary care clinician or primary health care. Being a public health person, I have an interface as a general practitioner, one can say. And then as an epidemiologist and as a social medicine person, and then I have been chairing some ethical committees. So the doctor is at the interface with the patient. And that is the downstream, I said. हम downstream की तरफ ही देख रहे हैं. अगर दवाई, if the medicine is of poor quality, the outcome is bad. It is the doctor who is litigated, and nowadays there are violence against doctors also. But there is a whole chain. You have to see upstream also, from the manufacturer, drug manufacturer, pharmaceuticals, and drug manufacturer is also a big challenge in quality control, because they are getting their raw products from different manufacturers who may not be, so raw materials are getting, and that quality control in a large country, we have got a very big challenge because we do not have adequate infrastructure and drug inspectors to inspect all the these products. So recently, the India came into negative publicity because of the major tragedies, which I can think maybe the tip of the iceberg. In 2022, there were 60 deaths of children from cough syrup in Gambia, and that was traced to diethyl glycol, and then subsequently within a few months another Uzbekistan number of children died. So this gives a very bad publicity, and even during the COVID time we did supply vaccines at haste, but unfortunately even Brazil turned down the supplies of Covaxin because of quality issues, maybe political, maybe otherwise. So we have to, I mean, it's all very well to say that we are a pharma of the world. We are the pharma of the world, but with that goes a great responsibility to maintain the quality standards. And another problem is that we may be having number of Cosmetics Act, Drugs Act, but the deterrence is not adequate. The punishments, how many people have been convicted, how many people have been put behind jail, that can also give an idea how soft we are on taking stringent action. And recently, there are certain legislation which are maybe of little concern, which gives that we are becoming more lenient. That recently, 2023, the Jan Viswas Bill was passed, in which the section 27D of the Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1940, there was an amendment to make a provision of compounding. That is, the instead of going to jail, if the drug is of not standard quality, the manufacturer can pay the fine and get away with it. So this is, I think this requires debate. It may be, on one hand, we want to increase, we want to promote business, but it should not be at the cost of quality. And then regarding this diethyl glycol, this can be an indicator that all is not well with our regulatory agencies, because historically the first case of diethyl glycol poisoning and deaths occurred in 1937 in the USA, and the USA took very stringent actions, and in fact the chief scientist of that company committed suicide, admitting that it was a mistake of using diethyl glycol. It is an industrial solvent, and unfortunately in India we are having the regular issues of diethyl glycol, and now we are having the diethyl glycol poisoning in exported drugs to Gambia and Uzbekistan. So this may be the tip of the iceberg. This is the extreme case where children died because they are vulnerable, but maybe substandard drugs may be causing harms to subclinical harms to patients in the long run. We don't know. And another problem is we do not have a proper pharmacovigilance system. We don't have a monitoring after the drug is in the market. And a lot of generic drugs of varying qualities are coming, generic or branded generic, and they have got various prices, and the quality control can be very difficult. So there is a challenge. And we were talking of diethyl glycol. Madras, there was a 15 children died in 1972. Mumbai, 1986. 14 patients died in a prestigious JJ hospital. And I would just like to just read out from a commission of inquiry under Justin Bakhtavar Lentin in 1986. He made a 300-page report and he inducted lot of top officials who were suspended, including the Joint Commissioner of FDA, Health Minister, senior officials and senior doctors were suspended. And the summary, one paragraph summary of his 300-page report is very, very disturbing. I mean, he says in his words, these pages describe and illustrate the ugly face of the human mind and human nature, projecting errors of judgment that we want to gloss over, misuse of ministerial power, a lot of political influence is also there, and authority, apathy towards human life. Apathy is very, very prevalent in our society. Corruption, nexus, and quid pro quo between unscrupulous license holders, analytical laboratories, elements in the industries department, controlling the awarding of rate contracts, manufacturers, traders, merchants, suppliers, the FDA, and persons holding ministerial rank. None of this will be palatable to the affected quarters, but that cannot be helped. Actually, now this is in 1986, we have to do introspection ki whether we have taken care of these things. We have at the downstream, as I said, at the interface of the doctor patient, we have made a code of conduct of doctors that they will not be sponsored by pharmaceutical industries. They will not attend conference, they will not attend tours, they will not attend packages and other things. But upstream, what is the situation upstream? There is no quality, there is no check of the pharmaceutical lobbying upstream, pharmaceutical lobbying of ministers, pharmaceutical lobbying of policymakers. And now we have got the electoral bonds also, which was disclosed. Large number of pharmaceuticals have given heavy electoral bonds to all the political parties. It's all the political parties. That means there is always gloss over the setbacks and just until unless we recognize the problem, we cannot. And we do require more drug inspectors. We do require more strict vigilance. We do require pharmacovigilance. We do require strict Kanun. On the other hand, we are making the law more lenient. So these are some of the things which require debate at the highest level. Thank you.
Thank you. I think such a wonderful, eye-opening um, your perception about the whole situation, and I agree that perhaps you have uh, gone into depth of the present as well in the past, and I appreciate that you are perhaps you have given a practical solution. What should be done? What should be done?